Hey guys, Captain Austin here, Primetime Fishing Charters. Um, Throwing together a little short video for you guys. So I went out today, tried to do some fishing. Wouldn't you know it, the wind wouldn't let up. So figured I'd show you guys a little bit of what I got going on today. So I posted a little short video yesterday of some popping corks that I made. So typically I fish Cajun Thunders. Those of you that don't know what it is, it's a popping cork. I do a lot of popping cork fishing. This is them. If you can still read the name on this one's kind of beat up. There they are, Cajun Thunders. It's just your average popping cork. You know, they got some brass beads on the bottom, regular beads on top. I typically fish about 1.5 2 foot leader on the bottom of them with a 1/4 ounce jig head, something like this, and then live shrimp on it, sometimes artificial. Anyway, I can't find them anywhere anymore. So, and there's several other brands. Show you what I got here. So I've got all makes and models. Four Horsemen makes them. Really good corks, just really expensive. And I do still have some Cajun Thunders. There's some, Amazon special brands. I've got all kinds of them. They all work. They really do. But I'm a budget fisherman. I'm a charter captain, so I go through quite a bit of them. The other day I made several different kinds. So I made some that look just like the Cajun Thunders. They've got some regular brass beads on bottom. I went online and found some 2.5 inch oval floats, and I've always got beads with me. I use them beads for everything. And then I got some AFW. They're called mini mighty swivels, I believe. I think they're 100-pound swivels, and then just some 316 stainless wire. And I'm going to show you here in a second how I make them. But I made 3 different variations. So these ones, they're kind of semi-weighted. I made these ones that are not weighted at all except for the small. These are a 1/4 ounce brass beads. Just put one bead on bottom, one bead on top, and then a black bead on either side also. And then I've got this one here, which has got a 1/8 ounce lead weight on bottom with the brass bead, black bead, float, black bead, brass bead. I made those 3 different styles. I got a pile of fishing rods there, pile of fishing rods there, charter captain. So I've got a bunch of them. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay everything out here and kind of show you how I make them. And if you're interested in the stuff that you need, to build them yourself, leave a comment below and I'll try to find links for everything. They're pretty simple to make. It's just a few things: some wire, floats, beads, brass beads, and some swivels. So let me get everything set up here and I'll kind of walk you through how to do it. All right, so hopefully I get everything in frame here. So here's your regular, Cajun Thunder popping cork. So you got your floats, and I'm just gonna make one for you guys just for the sake of time. So you need one of those. Just bear with me here. I know I said I was gonna lay it all out, but and you got your little brass beads. These are quarter inch beads. I know I said 1/4 ounce earlier, but these are 1/4 inch. I'm not really sure how much they weigh, but you can get those. I get all of this stuff from Barlow's Tackle. And again, if you guys want to know this stuff, just leave a comment and I'll try to get links to everything. These are the only other thing that I get from Amazon, and these are just 8mm black beads. And I think you can get, they're cheap. They're like, I think it's like 500 or 1,000 beads for like $5 or $10. But again, 8mm, and I like black beads because they look cool. But I'm gonna do 4 of those. I'm gonna do 2 on bottom. So I did fish a little bit today, but didn't have much luck. So I only fished for like an hour. But I did try one of the corks out that I liked more than the other one, so I'm gonna make that one for you guys. And then these are the swivels that I got that I really like. They're number 12s, AFW Mighty Minis. And again, they're 100-pound swivels. So these you just take 2. Now this little contraption that you're about to see me use, when I started making these the other day, it kicked my butt because I kept forgetting to do stuff. And you'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute. So this stuff here is just 316 stainless steel wire. And I got this from the hardware store here in town at Big A hardware store in St. Mary's. And it's just stainless steel wire, 316. And I believe it's 045 wire. You can talk to Mike up there. He'll know what you're talking about. So I'm just going to cut 10 inches of it. And you don't use all 10 inches of it, but I like to have a little bit extra to work with. So I'm just going to take it, cut it, and I've got a little tape down here that you can't see, but 10 inches of it. And this little tool here, it's got this little guy off to the side. On the side here, it's got up to 3 inches. So there's a roller here on the side. I'm going to measure up 1.5 inches. And what it does is it kind of kinks it for you. And you don't want to roll it all the way over, but just enough that it gives you a little bend like this there. And then once you get that little bend, you roll it back over. And what you're trying to do is get that same bend on either side. But you got to be careful because it's stainless, so it is very brittle. But you're basically trying to get that there. And then once you get that, you know, the wire's got a natural bend to it. You want to try and straighten it out as much as possible. It just helps you. This is trial and error. I'm no professional at this, but trial and error. So once you get that kind of straight, this is what kept messing me up the other day. I kept forgetting to put a dang swivel on there. So put the swivel on. That's the most important part. And then on this contraption, it's got a little slot. So put the eye onto here, run that wire through the slot, and it's got another groove on the back side. You want to put that in there, pinch it, and you want to put a little bit of forward pressure onto here with this handle just to make this first twist. And you want to twist it to you as you're coming this way. Twist it to you with forward pressure just for that first twist. And then once you get it, you still want to keep a little bit of pressure but not as tight. And I do 3 twists. So 2, 3. And then once you get that, you back off of this, pull it out, and you'll have something like that there. So you have 3 twists. Now that you have this little tag in, come on, focus there. Since it's stainless, all you have to do is kink it. And by kink it, all I mean is you fold it over on itself like that, and then flip it back up like so, and then just keep doing that back and forth. And I'll show you here in a second what happens. And this is just so that way it doesn't create a, you could cut it, but what happens when you cut it is it leaves a little tag in and it'll cut you. But if you bend it back and forth, it'll give you a clean break like that there, and it keeps you from, it won't cut you. So then once you get that there, this is where you can kind of get creative with it. And it's all kind of personal preference. So like I said, one of the other ones I showed you a minute ago, what I'm going to do, and it's the one that I liked, I'm going to do 2 black beads. Then I'm going to do the float. Then I'm going to do a black bead, the 2 brass beads, then a black bead, and then I'm going to do my little ring again with the tool, and then I'm going to put the swivel on. Now this, the way that it sat in the water, I liked it a lot more because I used a 1/4 ounce jig head. I'll take you back over there in a second and show you. So the one that wasn't weighted at all, except with the brass bead on either end, I used a 1/4 ounce jig head on it, just to see how it would sit, and it sat in the water fine. It just didn't sit deep enough. Now I'll probably end up switching to a 3/8 ounce jig head on it just to make it sit in the water a little bit better. But honestly, I think it would work just fine. Again, I'm just trying these out, so it's a trial and error kind of thing. And I'm gonna do a full-on video with all 3 of them. My plan today was to do a full video of it, but the wind just wasn't letting up, and I didn't have a whole lot of time. I had some other stuff to do. So anyway, back to this. So when I did this one, I did 1.5 inches up the side of this thing here. So this time I'm gonna do 2 inches. And that's just because I want to try to have these corks shorter, and that's just, again, personal preference. If you start doing it, you can kind of do it however you want. That's just the way that I made the ones the other day, and I really like how they casted today in the wind and how they look. So again, you do the little kink, flip it around, do it again on the other side, so you get that little divot on either side there. Swivel, don't forget the swivel. You'll put it on. Now with this, because you have the cork in the way here, it won't flip through this as you're spinning here. So I learned this yesterday through trial and error also. Same thing as before though, you'll put the eye on this little pin here, Get all this junk out of the way. You'll still put the wire, I know my hand's in the way, you'll put the wire in the groove here and then put the little tag in this back one. Now this is where it gets to be a pain in the butt. Now you're still going to take this handle and roll it to you clockwise, but you're only going to do it for that first bend, if that makes any sense. So you're just going to get that first wrap. Now once you get that, if you ever tied any kingfish rigs, this part right here is really easy for you. So you're going to take this, right? See, it's closed off now, but you're going to take a pair of pliers and you're going to hold that ring. And if you've ever done a haywire twist, essentially what you're going to do is you're going to take this wire in itself and you're going to wrap it this around this wire. So I'm going to do it 3 times. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this wire, I'm going to wrap it around here 3 times. So let me wrap it a couple of times and I'll show you. And you want to try to keep it as tight as possible. It's not very friendly on the fingers just because of how stout this wire is. But as I'm wrapping, you can see what I'm talking about. Again, I'm going to try to do 3 wraps here. There's 3. And it should look just like that. And again, I'm not perfect, nobody's perfect, but that's what it should look like in my eyes. So then once you got that 3 wraps or whatever you think you need, this is where you kink it. So when you kink it, you're just going to fold it down, and you'll fold it back up, fold it down, back up, fold it down, back up, and it'll just break off. And again, you see how it doesn't leave a snag for your finger to catch on. That's just so that way it doesn't cut you, it won't grab your line, nothing. And then now you got a perfectly good popping cork. It makes a really good clacking sound. It's supposed to imitate, shrimp, bait fish on the surface. Turns out pretty good. Again, it's nothing perfect, nothing fancy. The whole thing cost me, I don't know, I bought enough stuff here for, I don't know, $50, $60, and I can make, I don't know, 10 corks probably. I think that's what I bought, was 10 floats. And I think the corks now, I believe the 4 horsemen are about $10 a piece. So if I were to buy 10 of those, that's $100. And I've got 10 here and it cost me $50. Do the math. I'm no mathematician, but I think it's cheaper just to buy this stuff. And I've got enough beads here that I could make, there's 100 beads in here, 500 here. I've got 100 of these, so I could make theoretically 50 floats with that stuff there. I think it's going to be more cost effective to just do it this way. So if you're a budget fisherman like me, to me it just makes sense. So there's that. Let me get you guys back over here to check out these other floats, and I'll kind of break them down for you. All right, so I got that put together. Again, it's not a crazy video. I just wanted to try and get something posted up. I haven't posted in a while. Like I said, I tried to get y'all video up this morning, but Mother Nature had other plans. I'm going to try to get out probably next week and get a fishing video together for you guys. I really wanted to today. It's the right tide. I wanted to do a little bit of everything: sheephead fishing, redfish, trout. I had some charters over the weekend. We did really good, redfish, trout. Fishing's only going to get better, so if you guys want to get out, please give me a holler, and we'll get you out there. But back to these popping corks. So this one here was the weighted one. Like I said, it's got a 1/8 ounce egg weight on the bottom. And like I said, these little brass beads that are down here, they're nickel coated. I don't know how much they weigh. I don't imagine it's much, maybe a 64th of an ounce. They don't weigh very much, so I don't really count them as weighted. But they do have a little bit. They definitely weigh more than the plastic beads. But with these, I've got, a 25-pound leader down to a, see if you can see down here, down to a 1/4 ounce jig head. Excuse me. I've got that on the weighted one. And then on the one like what I just made with the 2 brass beads on bottom, I've also got that on a 25-pound leader down to a 1/4 ounce jig head also. Now the one that doesn't have any weight on it, I guess, it's just got the 1 brass bead on bottom. That's also on a 25-pound leader. It's got a 1/4 ounce jig head. And it sat good in the water, but like I said, I think I'm going to jump that up to a 3/8 ounce jig head just to see if it sits just a little bit deeper. It wasn't sitting quite half on the cork. It was probably sitting just a little lower than half, which like I said, it sat good, but I would prefer it to sit a little bit lower in the water. Now with this one, I did try it with the 3/16 ounce jig head, and it made a little bit of a difference, but not enough, at least as rough as it was today, not enough that I could notice. Um, so I ended up tying the 1/4 ounce on there, and I think it did just as good. I don't think it made too much of a difference, but I'm going to quit rambling. Like I said, I just wanted to show you guys what I've been kind of tinkering with the past couple of days. I am going to try to get out. If not, well, I got charters this weekend, but I'm going to try to get out next week and get a fishing video up for you guys. I appreciate the love and support. If you guys want to get out and book a trip, you can message me on here. Check me out on Facebook. We've been posting a bunch of pictures of the charters. If you guys want to get out, message me on Facebook. Call me, text me. If you guys, like I said, if you want any of that stuff that I was using over there making the Poppin Corks, um, comment on here on Facebook. Reach out to me, and I'll try to get links and stuff posted on there if you guys want it. If not, until next time, thanks for watching, and we'll see you when we see you.